Well, hello everybody. Dan here. Time for a quick update on the project. Made some progress. It's been a few weeks, but haven't made as much progress as I'd want. Of course, it's how it always is, but I'll show you what I've done. So the radiator core assembly is out. The core support is all welded together, ready for paint. Nothing very spectacular there. I got the passenger footwell modified to make room for the coolant tube coming from the radiator going to the water pump. So it was real tight trying to fit it in here, and I'm really trying to keep the stock radiator in here so that it's not a problem in the future. If it breaks out in the field somewhere, out in the world somewhere, it's not a big deal. So routing through here ended up just being the best solution. So that gets good access to the overflow reservoir, and trying to fit it right through here and under here was not going well. So I modified the footwell. It was wasted space. My drawings were a little off. Once I put the seats in, I had extra space down there. So that's what I did, just modified the box a bit. I took the cover off of the steering box to show what we did there. So this is a shaft I built going to a taper lock sprocket, taper lock hub sprocket, keyed with a groove and a snap ring, external snap ring to keep it in place. There's a double roller bearing, 4-bolt flange mount bearing on the other side of the firewall here that's holding that shaft. So it can only come through this way. And of course, with the snap ring, it's not going to fall off. Even if the taper lock comes loose, the cover would keep it on anyway. So it's quite a bit of redundancy there to keep it from falling apart. And the same goes through all the system. Every place there's an opportunity for things to fall apart. Even if the bolts come loose, it won't fail. Here's the tensioner for this end of it. I was going to make this movable so that I could adjust the tension by moving that, but that meant 2 more U-joints, extra space, and some complication, and I really didn't, making it straight ended up being the better way to go. I really like riveting. I found out you can really make some pretty cool stuff just with some simple rivet tools. I got mine from Eastwood, and it's okay. Doesn't have very good low impact. Like, you just want to set things nice and gentle. It doesn't work all that great. I borrowed a really nice one from a buddy of mine, and man, did that thing work great. I have to get one now, but the Eastwood works all right. But yeah, you can really make some stout, lightweight contraptions out of aluminum with a bender and some shears and a drill. So anyway, this piece of UHMW has a slight radius to it. You can see the curve in the chain here. So the groove holds it in place, not likely to flop off the sides of the sprocket, even if it does come loose. That groove has an arc to it, so it's supposed to keep it nice and smooth. My arc is the radius is too big, so I can feel the chain ticking on one side. So I'm going to take this off and re-radius it, make it a smaller radius. I think it'll be better. And it's just slotted with a big plate on the backside with tapped holes. So you can just take this cover off, easy access here, loosen the bolt, slide this around, get it nice and however tight you want it, and then put the cover back on. Should be real easy. And do lubrication of the chain every once in a while. The brakes are a shaft, 7/8 shaft, comes out of the side of the firewall. It's supported on the other side by a pillow block bearing, ball bearing. There's a keyed set screw shaft or a collar. Welded this bracket to it, and then the adjustable thread rod with the heim joints on the ends. And then same thing up top, a 7/8 shaft with some flange bearings. All the ratios are the same as though it were still mounted to the firewall with the stock pedal. So the same pedal stroke gets you the same plunger stroke on the master cylinder. I'm using the stock brake switch, keep things simple, although it's real tight in there. So, and it's supposed to be inside the cab, so I'm going to have to do a good job of keeping that protected from the elements. I did some work on the shroud to connect the old fan housing, I don't know what you call that, gasket seal, to the firewall, because the radiator is going to come this way some more. So I have to do this same concept, but join it to either the plastic or build the great big rectangular box and join them together. And either way, that's going to be a challenge. The intercooler tubing is done, except I need some more collars and, or couplings and hose clamps. But it's all put together. That shroud's not beautiful, but it'll work. I'm pretty sure I'll probably need that. It's a pressure switch, I'm assuming. It was in the old intake, so I just smeared some aluminum on there and just put a thick piece of plate on there and hacked it together with the welder, and it works. Thought I'd show the steering while I've got it open here. So you can see it's just a straight shaft to another flange mount bearing hooked to a piece of 1/4-inch aluminum tied to the frame. Nothing complicated. To a sprocket. Now this one, is adjustable with more like a radiator or a alternator mount, and it's got the same 4-bolt double roller bearing flange mount bearing back there, and a custom shaft going to the stock U-joint, and I think that's a Ford Escort boot. Looked real nice in the junkyard. Fits perfect. Does a good job sealing it up. And that's it. So, a little bit of progress. The footwell works good. I think I'm going to carry it over a little bit later on after I get it running and driving. I'm trying to do the minimal to button it up so I can get it on the road and see how much falls apart. And hopefully that's this summer. The expectation is this summer, and I'm pretty sure I'll hit it. This is going to be an area down here for the HVAC airflow. You're going to come up through there. I think I can fit the air filter in there, and I'll have to do some kind of a access door right here, and I'll stick the filter over there. I think it's a good protected spot. So there it is. Thanks for watching.